are so excited to bring you along today because we have been hankering for a day of just focusing in on the things that bring us joy.
Yeah, and let's be honest, I don't know about you, but I've been spending way too much time on this old guy, and I'm ready to do something about it, have some intentional time, maybe doing some of the things that, as Michelle says, like spark joy, slow us down.
100%.
It's easy to get caught up in the grind.
Obviously, being an adult is tricky. You're trying to balance your social life, your job. Living in New York City, the hustle and bustle never stops, but it's so important to focus on things like your hobbies.
A few of the things that we're going to be doing today. A breakdown. I'm going to be writing, pen to paper. How about that?
Whoa.
I'm going to be baking bread.
I want to start the day off with doing some journaling, and I really am just craving some time with my sketchbook, so we're definitely going to be doing that. I really want to finish my book today. I'm reading Heartburn by Nora Ephron. I obviously love her writing style, but let's be honest, that text did not age well. So I would like to put it to a close and finish it up. It's a short read, so
yeah. Sometimes because she's dead, she's so easy to romanticize, but if you knew her, like if she was at a dinner party, like Nora Ephron would be running her mouth and we all would be covered in goosebumps.
I also was watching old videos of myself in high school when I used to sing and play guitar, and honestly I was yearning for a little music back in my life.
Oh, that's so cute.
So I might
have a jam session?
have a little jam session, and we have a bunch of other stuff that we'll probably end up doing as well.
Well, you said way more than me, so I'm actually going to jump in here and say a couple more things that I'm doing. I tricked ya. I will be doing something productive, but I will be working on a Substack piece, which is a passion project.
It's a passion, so
especially this essay, it's very on theme with the video that I'm working on. I'm doing kind of an artist breakdown of Kiki's delivery service. It's a good time. I think it's funny, it's also touching, but I'm almost done, so I'm finishing up on that. But again, it's not Instagram, it's not TikTok, so it definitely qualifies as a slow hobby.
We're definitely going to do a little cozy movie watching, which watching movies without your phone, that's a hobby to me. So,
yeah, at that point, I'm like basically on the Oregon Trail. I also will be reading my book. I'm reading The Rachel Incident, and I'm about like over halfway, so who knows, maybe we can both finish our books today. And I'm making dinner, and I'm making a prime cozy dish, one of my favorites, a shepherd's pie, and I'm gonna break that down for you guys, bring you into the kitchen, and I'll show you guys how I make that. So
we're gonna have a lovely little day. It's gonna be so fun, honestly. And we're trying to just hop right into the video because we tend to ramble, so why don't we just get this day going, because we cannot wait.
So I was gifted this beautiful 2025 planner from Paper Source by my coffee shop manager, and I love it, and I've been loving using it. I'm not really much of a planner. I do life, how you say,
as it comes.
As it comes, by the seat of flying by the seat of my pants. But despite that personality flaw, I have been really into it. Like, it has helped me actually know what my week looks like, which is great because
new territory.
Yeah, this is not that reliable, turns out. So I've been literally filling it out and trying not to give a shit about what it looks like. It's hard because I was a teen during like 2015, 2016, 2017, where like aesthetic planner content was everywhere, and the way that like you were supposed to color code and put stickers on things, like that's burned into my memory, and so sometimes it's hard to be like, oh, but it doesn't look perfect. And it's like, yeah, but are you using it?
Yeah.
Is it working? You know? So I'm enjoying it. But it does unfortunately have this gold 2025 that
it's just not your style.
It's just not my style. It's a little glittery. So I have this huge cat sticker with this cat playing the cello, but it has been kind of refusing to stick to the leather of the notebook, so I'm going to tape it down with double-sided tape that Michelle has, and I think it's going to look really classy. There's like a tiny dog on top of the picture as well.
I hope that the double-sided tape works, but
who knows?
It might help at least.
We'll try it out. We'll try it out.
I personally, this is what I'm working with. This is my Choosing Keeping notebook that I got in the UK. If you watch those vlogs, you would have seen it as a part of my London haul. I love it so much. I only have like a few pages left, and I'm going to be devastated when it runs out. But the whole point of having notebooks is to use them, and as you can see, I'm an avid journaler, so I burn through multiple of these bad boys in a year.
Michelle is what we would say is aspirational journaler. Like, she commits to journaling every single day. You have many.
I know some people get like a journal a year. I feel like I've been burning through them. I love journaling. I feel like I just have too many thoughts and feelings and I need to get them out on paper. It also has helped me resist oversharing on the internet, so I would recommend, if that is something that you also struggle with.
If you out there too, resist oversharing on the internet.
It's a doozy, but just going to get into, I honestly, like with journaling, it's not well written what I put down most of the day. Sometimes it is, and sometimes I'm in like the flow of like writing something really nice, and I've definitely had times where I've like written poetry and written like more prosy stuff, but for the most part I just let myself show up kind of imperfectly and just kind of write what pops into my head as I go.
Yeah, you do.
And I think that is the act of it is more important than making it like anything like necessarily of substance or anything like good or worthwhile.
But I think that's how it actually is an effective, healthy journal.
Yeah.
Like, I personally am so bad at journaling because I am self-obsessed, and so I think that like people, when they're trying to write my biography, they're gonna crack it open. So like,
shit.
I'm perceiving myself as I write it, and I'm like lying a little bit, trying to make myself look a little better.
I literally don't do that at all.
Yeah.
But I write as if no one will ever read it, and I think that is
no, that's what I'm saying. That is healthy. All right, it does look better.
Yeah, it's not like falling off every 2 seconds at least.
Yay! I'm gonna go through and see what I really have to get done today, so that I can make a time breakdown. Which is the only way that I get anything done.
Literally.
Especially since like we're also filming the video, so I want to change things frequently so that it's not boring for them, but also it works better with my brain if I'm
having like time blocks.
Yeah. But I did do hot dog night yesterday. So
that's massive.
Yeah.
Chicken off hot dog night.
Where is March going? Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
This year is flying by. What's plaguing you in your journal?
Well, I'm talking about basically what I want to do today.
Oh, perfect.
And like brain dumping everything I need to do. Slash want to do. Cozy hobbies and all that. I'm gonna do sketchbook after this, which I'm so excited about.
Yes.
I'm literally gonna be like, make something, even if it's shitty, even if it's just like a crayon drawing, stick figure style.
I feel like we're so back. The weather's warming up. Fall era is ending.
God. Okay everyone, so the journaling session has been completed. It's about that time of day when I make a little bit of lunch, so I'm going to whip up some salads for me and Aline. I've been really into just putting breaded chicken from Trader Joe's with some arugula, some pearled couscous, and then a bunch of other veggies and like a balsamic and goat cheese. I also made some pickled onions yesterday and they just hit so hard on a salad. So I'm gonna get in the kitchen now and whip those up before getting into the rest of the day. I went to Mercado Little Spain the other day and I had the most insane chicken skewer sandwich, and they put mint on the sandwich. I've been changed for good, as they say. So I had such a craving to pick up some fresh mint. So I'm gonna chop this up as well and like throw it in with the couscous and the arugula. I had this yesterday and it took the salad to the next level. I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna chop up some mint, some cucumber, some red bell pepper, and some Kalamata olives. But that's kind of like the only prep really, with obviously like washing the arugula and throwing the chicken into the oven. haven't watched Cheaper by the Dozen in too long. I'm sorry, but these look amazing, these bowls.
Gigi, wake up! Tonight's the night! Hey, Mom! Mom, it's the perfect midnight for me to leave home.
We just got a letter from Kiki.
Huh? My delivery service is a big success. There are still times when I feel a little homesick. But all in all, I sure love this city.
Please excuse some of the construction that's going on outside. Not very cozy, not very hobby. I wanted to talk a little bit about why I'm writing this essay about Kiki's delivery service, which I feel is very in line with the theme of this video. I actually wrote a little bit about Kiki's delivery service for my application for a writing workshop that I submitted last week. If you watched my last week in my life, but I didn't really touch on this in the video, but I had to write about 3 like fantasy touchstones that influenced me a lot, and I wrote a little bit about Kiki's delivery service, and that basically inspired me to take that little piece and turn it into this big essay. I'm not the first person to say this. I don't think that this is an original thought at all. If you want to watch a video essay about this, there's truly like 17 online. But Kiki's delivery service is such a beautiful film for so many reasons, and one of them being that it does take on new life as you get older. I think it was definitely a favorite when I was a child. Look no further than the fact that I definitely dressed up as Kiki in a black dress to bake one day when I was like, I must have been 9 years old, maybe a fresh 10 tops. And I was insisting on baking with my hair down, which I was never allowed to do, and it got caught in the electric mixer, and it's one of my core memories. And I was trying to do that because I'd gotten the habit of cosplaying Kiki a little bit and taking baked goods down to my aunt's house via broomstick. Like I would just wibble wobble on my broomstick with like a basket attached that had baked goods inside. Kiki is, to me, everything. So she is a legend, she is an icon, and she is the moment. Now come on now. Blueprint, the bratty blueprint. But as you get older, the story does shift and you realize that it's so much more a story about inspiration and creativity and the inner life of an artist, and especially like an inner life of somebody who is trying to be successful while also retain the joy of the thing that you're trying to be successful at. I can talk about it all day, but then why would you go read the essay? Anyway, that's what I'm finishing up right now. Before I go, I do have a Substack. It's called Chicken Scratch. I upload basically so many musings, thoughts, personal essays, culture commentary, and short stories. So if you're interested in giving that a read, I try to upload several times a month. It's all there, so.
Watching back this footage now as I'm editing, it's just so baffling to me why I get so in my head to do these things that bring me so much joy, and honestly, I'm pretty natural at. While I'm painting, I consistently battle some pretty negative self-talk about what I'm creating not being good enough, and watching back or looking at my finished result, I'm always so proud and impressed by myself. So that's something that I definitely want to work on as I get into more of a consistent practice, is really trying to quiet down those voices. I also want to find peace with creating things that are imperfect and even creating things that aren't good. I don't think that the act of creativity should necessarily be hindered by these expectations of your output being conventionally good. That's not what creativity is about. So anyway, that's something that I've been chewing on as I get back into watercoloring, get back into practicing in my sketchbook. And ultimately, I'm really proud of myself as I grapple with these feelings that come with putting yourself out there creatively. Once I imported these clips and saw them all spiced together, I got a little bit emotional because art has been something that I've done since I can remember. Like, it's always been a part of my life ever since I was probably in preschool, kindergarten. It's always been something I've gravitated towards. So I just feel so authentically me whenever I engage with art and with my creativity. So all the more reason to pick up my paints more often.
Okay everyone, I have finally made a mark on my sketchbook for the first time in months. I used an old standby method of just looking at a little tutorial on TikTok for some poppies. I didn't really follow the tutorial because I already know how to watercolor. Not to brag, but I already know how to do the basics of watercolor. I just wanted kind of like a reference image. I'm not obsessed with them, but I don't hate them. They're kind of giving like my emo art from high school, but that's okay. The whole point today was to sit down and just play in my sketchbook for a little bit, and it's been like an hour and a half of painting. So we're gonna transition to the next activity. I might come back to working on my sketchbook later, but it's such a beautiful day. It says feels like 61 out. So me and Aline are going to pop out, get a strawberry matcha, go on a walk, and bring you guys along. It's a beautiful spring day, and I'm so excited for this matcha. We love this place, Chalet, on the Upper West Side. They make their own strawberry syrup. They're amazing. So let's go on a walk. And welcome to my kitchen. So we're about to start dinner. It's about that time, and I did mean to bake a loaf of bread today, but time got away from us a little bit. We didn't include this in our cozy hobbies video because there's nothing cozy about it, but we had to like stop by a Verizon store to do this trade-in with our phones. Like snooze McGee, like nobody wants to listen to me talk about that, and that's okay, and I understand. We were there and it took a little bit longer than we thought, so no bread, but I am gonna bake some cookies later when my shepherd's pie goes in the oven. Shepherd's pie is one of my favorite things to make. I wrote about this a little bit in my Substack, but there are certain recipes that I think are like the key to adulthood, and it's not so much a recipe, it's more of a category of recipe, which is something you can make a big something of, and then it lasts you for like a few days in the week. And shepherd's pie is one of my favorites because you can actually put it in just like one big dish, and I just love recipes that are like that. I have a list that actually I keep of recipes that fit into this category. White bean chili, lentil curry, chicken pot pie, shepherd's pie, ratatouille, lasagna, quiche. Obviously there are a lot more recipes to add to that list, but those I just keep on hand in case I'm in a pinch and I need to remember, like, okay, how do I make something that will last a while, like has high value to my week, especially since like cooking
no matter what, it's a bit of a time commitment. Like, you are gonna give up probably like an hour of your day, like at least half an hour, 45 minutes of cleanup. I'm gonna get going now because I don't want to talk too much and waste too much of your time, but let's get into the shepherd's pie. I think I'm gonna talk about this recipe a little bit more in post, like via voiceover. So let's let the movie magic take the wheel, shall we?
This is that movie magic, and we are chopping sweet potatoes. My knives are so dull, so please don't judge how I'm chopping them. And I'm getting the potatoes. I do a mixture of sweet and regular boiling on the stove to create our mashed potato topping. Then in a heated pan, I am adding olive oil and roughly diced onions to that pan. And I'm just gonna let them soften and saute a little bit before going in with my tomato paste. Kind of depth of flavor you're looking for is what I'd suggest. Getting that caramelizing, though, is our top priority. When you add the tomato paste is essential. If you had any other veggies that you'd want to add, now would be the time. Like, I usually love adding carrots right about now, but I didn't have any carrots, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add my ground meat. Today I'm choosing a lean ground turkey and then seasoning it with my favorite seasonings and getting that all mixed up. I add cumin, I add chili powder, paprika, garlic powder, maple pepper, and then I just kind of let it do its thing for a little bit before going in with a chicken broth or vegetable broth. I'm not sure or familiar with how this is traditionally done, like in England. I'm actually using a method to make a mincemeat mixture that is very popular in my home country of Chile, which is called pino. And this is how I approach cooking like ground meat in general. So if I get something quote unquote wrong, don't come at me. I'm just doing what I know. I'll put a recipe in the video description if you want something more concrete. After the turkey has browned a little bit, I am adding about half a cup to a cup of chicken or vegetable broth. It would probably be a little less if I was cooking with beef or something that had a little bit more fat, but turkey can go quite dry quite quick, so I'm adding the broth and then adding some flour just to create a nice, almost gravy-like enrichment to the meat. And while I'm also doing that and letting that simmer a bit, I am taking care of my potatoes, so draining them, adding the butter, adding a little bit of milk, and then putting that all together. As you can see, I added peas for a little extra green, but I didn't want to add them too early because if not, they get weird and soggy and brownish, and I'm not into that. So I'm adding my topping afterwards. Adding a little less liquid to the mashed potatoes is important because you don't want to end up with just goo, if you know what I'm saying. And this is optional, but I do like to run my topping with a fork just so it has a lot of crispy edges as it bakes. And then this is optional, a little bit of cheese on top. Bake at 375 for 45 minutes to an hour and you'll be golden.
We've made it to the next stage of Cozy Hobbies. I am going to play guitar and sing for a little bit. I was painting for a while Aline was cooking and she had the camera. We did run an errand at Verizon that took a lot longer than we anticipated. So, you know, we are persevering and I think this evening is going to be really fun. And honestly, just like, it's so nice to spend a day prioritizing just having fun and having a nice time and doing things that you really enjoy, especially like connecting with that inner child. I haven't played music since whenever my Maggie Rogers cover went live. And by cover, I mean it was like a tiny section of a vlog. And I think that was a while ago now. So it is one of my goals to get back into music. It's on my bingo card. I used to do music all the time. In high school, I actually won a singing competition with all the other local high schools in my area. It was the highlight of my senior year, I have to say. And I just miss it. I miss doing it for fun. I think when I was in high school, I thought that I wanted it to be my career. And then when I decided that that lifestyle wasn't for me, I just kind of like dropped it, and I've tried to get it back into it here and there, but yeah, I just want to like do it for fun and do it for me because it makes me feel fantastic. So I'm just gonna noodle around a little bit, and I'll probably only include the clips that are good because there's surely going to be a lot of bad as I stumble back into learning. I'm so rusty. Well, it ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe. If you don't know by now, it ain't no use to sit and wonder why. Don't matter anyhow. When the rooster crows at the break of dawn, look out your window and I'll be gone. You're the reason I'm traveling on, but don't think twice, it's alright.
Thanks to a high pressure front moving in from the mountains, mild winds will be blowing in.
Oh, look at that little brick.
She gets it. She's living the life.
Follow your father's radio again without asking. Don't worry, he doesn't mind. Please excuse me, Miss Dora. Breakfast!
What?
Oh, bird. You look like a Hayao Miyazaki character.
I have a favor to ask you, all right?
Oh, the guy is singing. Oh, hi there.